Imagine two coworkers, same title, same experience, sitting one desk apart, but one takes home a 62.
All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking what is honestly a bit of a secret weapon for the wealthy. We're talking about strategically using modern lending to actually build your net worth. You know, we're pretty much always told from day one to avoid debt at absolutely all costs, right? But today, we're going to look at the hard data that proves why playing it entirely safe like that might actually be the very thing holding you back. So is debt actually the secret to wealth? I mean, it sounds completely counterintuitive, doesn't it? But did you realize that highly successful entrepreneurs literally do not fear debt at all? They actively use loans to completely accelerate their wealth creation. We tend to look at these massive billionaires and just assume they're throwing around their own cash for everything. But the reality? They are heavily leveraging debt. They use it as a highly strategic instrument. Now, obviously, there is a massive difference between how an everyday person takes on a loan and how someone who is actively building immense wealth uses one. And it really boils down to this fundamental difference. The wealthy borrow for assets that pay them back, while everyone else borrows for liabilities that just drain them dry. An asset literally puts money right back into your pocket. We're talking commercial real estate or business capital that actually generates revenue. A liability, on the other hand, just takes money out. Think about buying the absolute newest iPhone on EMI, or taking out a personal loan for a shiny new car that loses a chunk of its value the second you drive it off the lot. If you lock yourself into EMIs for liabilities, well, your entire life just becomes about paying off that past debt. So here's our roadmap for decoding exactly how you can access this kind of wealth building capital. We'll cover 1, the good loan secret, 2, legacy banking bottlenecks, 3, transactions versus personas, 4, the digital banking advantage, and 5, unlocking your capital. Starting off with section 1, the good loan secret. Get this, there's a staggering reality in consumer banking right now. A massive 60% of people are deeply satisfied with their banks. Why? Because banks are constantly pushing the completely wrong financial products on them. People end up totally trapped with products they don't even really understand, paying ridiculously high fees, and ruining their credit scores. All because the bank failed to provide any real clarity. Basically, they're being sold liabilities, not tools for asset generation. Which leads us perfectly into section 2, legacy banking bottlenecks. To put things into perspective globally, the cost of capital varies wildly. In the US, it sits around 2 to 5%. In China, it's about 4 to 6%. But in India, it's a massive 8 to 10%. This historically high cost of capital makes lending accessibility a huge hurdle for emerging businesses. Remember, this is a developing, cash-rich economy where capital hasn't always just flowed freely, and that makes acquiring the exact right kind of loan absolutely critical. To actually navigate this, we have to look at the sheer friction involved. Contrast the outdated paperwork-heavy processes of legacy banks where, let's be honest, just updating a passbook feels like a massive chore, with the incredibly smooth integrations of modern fintechs. Legacy banks are literally driven by systems framed decades ago. They just weren't built for today's digital speed. If a small business needs a simple API for fund transfers, legacy banks struggle to provide it without massive institutional bottlenecks. On the flip side, modern banks are incredibly agile. They're tech first. They invest heavily in technology because they know it's the only way to actually